Transforming Emotions to Effective Advocacy, Understanding the Issues Surrounding Special Education Rights in the District of Columbia. The Office of the Student Advocate is an independent office within the State Board of Education. We provide guidance and resource supports for families in order to assist them in navigating our complex system of public education in the district. We do that in 3 ways. We operate our Request for Assistance line live Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to answer any questions or concerns regarding DC public education. We also have our online resources and tools available on our website on topics ranging from special education to attendance and truancy and even homelessness. We also have our Education and Community Resource Guide, which is an evolving portal of over 400 education-related resources and agencies categorized into 20 different topic areas. The purpose of this presentation is to inform families about special education and their rights, to ensure that they are connected to resources, supports, and organizational or government stakeholders, and to equip families with the tools and supports necessary to be their students' best advocate. A quick overview of our presentation. We'll discuss what special education is and what it looks like in the district. We'll then take a look at the laws that govern both federal and local. We'll look at IDEA, which is Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, FAPE, which is Free and Appropriate Public Education. We'll look at parent and student rights, the IEP process, and then conclude with information and resources from offices and agencies supporting families with special education in the district. What is special education? Special education is instruction that is specially designed to meet the unique needs of children with disabilities. Special education and related services are provided in public schools at no cost to parents and can include special instruction in the classroom, at home, in hospitals, institutions, or in other settings. The landscape in DC. Roughly 14% of students attending public schools in the district receive special education, compared to an average nationally of 13%. Approximately 8,000 of those students attend the traditional public schools in DC, or DCPS, while 5,000 of those students attend DC public charter schools. The most common disability type is learning disability, and most special education students spend most of their day in general education classes, which is commonly referred to as inclusion. A quick overview of special education law. There are 3 federal laws that guarantee the rights of students with disabilities. The first is Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA. The second is Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, commonly referred to as simply Section 504. The third is Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act, or IDEA. Okay, if you look at this image here, Section 504 is the broader of the two. A child who doesn't qualify for an IEP might be able to get a 504 plan. With 504s, a child should have the same access to the learning environment as their non-impaired peers. With IEPs, a child must have a qualifying disability, so one of the 13 qualifying disability categories recognized by IDEA, in order to make meaningful academic progress. FAPE. IDEA guarantees eligible students the right to FAPE, a free, appropriate public education. Children eligible for a 504 plan or an IEP are entitled to FAPE. Every child with a disability eligible for special education must be provided educational services at no cost to the parent. Those services must be deemed appropriate for the child. An IEP team will sit together and develop that plan, which we'll talk about in depth a bit later. The public school system must educate all students, including students with the most profound disabilities. The public school system is also responsible for the costs associated with providing this appropriate education. Finally, education refers to special education, general education, and related services. Parent and student rights under DC law. DC Council passed a legislative package in 2014 overhauling special education. This legislation includes Special Education Student Rights Act, Enhanced Special Education Services Act, and Special Education Quality Improvement Act. The Special Education Student Rights Act gives parents or guardians the right to copies of the evaluation and draft IEPs 5 business days before the meeting. It also gives them the right to observe their child in current placement and observe in proposed placement. Finally, it gives parents and guardians rights to the copies of final IEPs within 5 business days after the meeting. The Enhanced Special Education Services Act states that children referred for special education evaluation must be evaluated within 60 days from parent consent or 90 days from referral. Child Find is the process that ensures that all children with disabilities in need of special education and related services are identified, located, and evaluated. In DC, depending on the child's age, responsibility shifts from different agencies. From birth to 2.5 years old, OSSI, our state education agency, is responsible. Strong Start is DC's early intervention program that provides services for infants and toddlers with disabilities and developmental delays. From 2.5 years old to kindergarten, DCPS operates Early Stages, an assessment center for children between the ages of 2 years and 8 months to 5 years and 10 months that helps to identify delays a child may have and arrange services to address them. If your child is already enrolled at a school, that school is responsible. They can, of course, work in coordination with Early Stages. From first grade to high school, the LEA, an individual school, is responsible with support from OSSI if needed. So what is an LEA? An LEA has administrative control over public and elementary schools or secondary schools within a city, county. LEAs are similar to our understanding of school districts. DCPS is a single LEA, even though it operates over 100 schools. Individual public charter networks are also LEAs. So we can think of DCPS as a single school district and each individual public charter network as its own school district. For IEPs, the special education process is as follows: referral, evaluation, eligibility determination, IEP development, placement determination, annual review, reevaluation, and exit or graduation. As a parent or guardian, you have the right to make a request to the school for evaluation if you suspect that your student has a disability. That evaluation process can include evaluating their social and emotional well-being and general intelligence, their health, including vision and hearing, and their performance in school and peer communication and interaction. During the evaluation process, a wealth of information is collected about your student. This information includes how well your child speaks or understands language, how your child thinks and behaves, how well your child adapts to changes in their environment, how well your child has done academically, how well your child functions in a variety of areas, including moving, thinking, learning, seeing, and hearing, and your child's job-related and other post-school interests and abilities. This information helps to give a clear picture of where your child may be struggling and how you and the school can help your student be successful. After the evaluation has occurred, an IEP team will convene to discuss the evaluation in an eligibility meeting. The school must provide parents with copies of evaluations 5 business days before that meeting. In order to determine eligibility, there must be an IEP team. This team consists of an evaluator, teachers, at least one general education and one special education teacher, therapists or other relevant professionals, an LEA representative, and parents and guardians, and anyone else that the parent or guardian invites. No single person can make the eligibility decision for your child. All decisions are team decisions. An IEP, or Individualized Education Program, is a written document that describes the educational program that will meet the child's individual needs. It has two purposes: one, to set learning goals for your child, and two, to list the supports and services that the school district will provide for your child. It is a work in progress. After it's been put in place, it needs to be monitored and revised as needed in order to ensure that your child is able to meet his or her goals. What's in the IEP? The IEP includes current academic and functional performance, annual goals, special education and related services, time spent in the general education setting, dates and location of services, assessment participation and any accommodations or modifications, how progress will be measured, and transition services. Going back to the third point, the IEP team determines whether or not a student needs related services. Related services can provide a wide variety of supports that will enable a child to benefit from special education. Those services can include, but aren't limited to, counseling services, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and even transportation. As a parent or guardian, you have the right to refuse services, request changes to the IEP, or to call an IEP meeting. If you feel that your child's educational program is not working, you have the right to request an IEP meeting at any time. You do not have to wait for the school to call the meeting. Procedural safeguards. IDEA provides an extensive range of procedural safeguards for parents should they believe that there has been a denial of FAPE. Formal mediation allows parties to resolve disputes without a formal due process hearing. The mediator's role is to facilitate discussion and help parties reach an agreement. A state complaint is the resolution system that considers violation of federal education law. Anyone can file a state complaint. It is designed to resolve the issues without arbitration. A due process complaint is the legal process for resolving disputes between families and schools regarding special education identification, evaluation, or placement. Only the parent and guardian of the affected student can file a due process complaint. OSSI's Office of Dispute Resolution ensures that schools do not violate federal and local special education law. Parents may file a complaint with OSSI to initiate an investigation of potential denial of FAPE. If you need additional support, please contact one of these offices or agencies that work in the space. DCPS's Section 504 and Student Accommodations team creates policies to uphold Section 504, answer questions about 504 plans, and provide support to schools with development and implementation of said plans. DCPS's Division of Specialized Instruction helps plan transitions and provide information and resources about special education programs within DCPS. DC's Special Education Cooperative provides charter schools with special education supports and services. 83% of public charter LEAs in the district participate in the co-op. OSSI's State Complaint Office hosts information about the process of filing a state complaint. On their website, you can find a model state complaint form and contact them with questions. OSSI's Office of Dispute Resolution manages DC's due process system from hearings to mediations to facilitated IEP meetings. The State Advisory Panel on Special Education advises OSSI on unmet needs of students with disabilities, including the development of evaluations, reports, and corrective action plans. Advocates for Justice and Education is DC's Parent Training Information Center. They provide free training resources and individual assistance and supports regarding all things special education. Children's Law Center supports families with children with educational challenges unable to be resolved in a school building. Disability Rights DC at University Legal Services has a protection and advocacy program that provides free, individual, and systemic legal representation, outreach and education, and investigations of abuse and neglect. Office of the Ombudsman for Public Education is an independent, confidential, and impartial DC agency that assists families in resolving complaints, concerns, and conflicts. And finally, our office. Office of the Student Advocate provides guidance and supports to students and families navigating public education in DC. Call our office Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for additional support around special education or with any other public education concerns. If you haven't already, please visit our website, studentadvocate.dc.gov, for more resources about special education and other topic areas concerning public education in DC.